Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is New Crossroads 2037, coming at you once again with a little something different. Uh, Today's December 16th, Friday, 2011, at 6:03 a.m. I'm sorry for the lighting in here. You know, it's dark outside, so it's dark in here. Um, but, you know, you still get the gist of it. And I want to let you know up front, I'm not a preacher, I'm not a pastor, I'm not a deacon, I'm not a minister, I'm not anything like that. But what I do know is that God has a work for me to do, and I plan on doing that in the allotted time that He has given me to do it. Um, and what I want to talk about and what I want to talk to you today is about knowing what you're praying for, knowing exactly what you're praying for. You know, because I hear people a lot of times, um, you know, praying and asking God to heal them, or praying and asking God for a blessing, or praying and asking God to use them in His will or as He sees fit. You got to know what you're praying to God for. Today, we're just going to take one of these as a topic today. And I'm going to expand on the asking God for a blessing. See, what you got to know and what you got to do, you got to know when you pray to God, you need to pray to God in detail. See, yes, God knows your heart, God knows your thoughts, God knows your mind before you even say anything. Yes, God knows this, but still, you got to speak. And when you speak to God and when you talk to God, you talk to God in detail. You know, and what I mean by that, you ask God for a blessing, you got to know and you got to be ready to endure what it takes to get to that blessing, you know, because you got to know when you say, God, I, I pray to God that you bless me, or I pray for a blessing, Lord God. You got to know that it's going to take some work to get to that blessing. You got to be ready to work for that blessing. You know, don't nothing come in life easy. You got to know that, and you got to remember that. And that goes for when you're dealing with anything. Don't nothing come without working for it. You know, and Tyler Perry gave an analogy on one of his shows that was the best analogy I had heard. And what it was saying is, you know, you got to know when you asking God for a blessing, you got to think of it like a GPS system. You know, when you put a location into a GPS system when you're trying to get somewhere, and you type in that location, that GPS system is going to tell you how to get to that location. But what that GPS system might not tell you is that there's going to be bumps in the road. There may be bumps in the road. There may be potholes in the road. The construction crews may be working on the road. There may be detours. There may be slow traffic. There may be, you know, all these stoplights that you're going to get to. You know, but what you got to know is that you're going to eventually get to that destination. That's the same way as working with God when you're asking God for a blessing. You got to know that when you send that, Lord God, I'm asking you for to bless me, or I'm asking you for this blessing, Lord God, you got to know that when you say that, God hears you and God answers you and God sends you the blessing that you're asking for. But what you may not see is where that blessing is. But you got to know that you're working towards that blessing. You're going to get there. But see, there's going to be hiccups in the way. There's going to be hiccups along the way. There's going to be detours that you're going to have. There's going to be bumps in the road. You got to know that when you ask God for a blessing, God sends you that blessing. You will receive that blessing. but you don't know when you're going to receive that blessing, because it may not happen overnight. It will happen when God sees fit. It happens in God's time. It may not happen in the time that you want it to happen in. And you got to know that when you ask God for a blessing, you know the devil is going to step in, because once you get close to that blessing, the devil is going to step in and try to intervene with that blessing, because he does not want you to get what you're asking for. You got to know this when you're praying for that, and when you make that prayer of, God, I want you to bless me. And if you're not in detail with how you want God to bless, or when you want God to bless you, you got to know that, oh, you're going to have to work for it. It ain't going to just come overnight. It ain't going to just happen in the blink of an eye. You got to know that it's going to take work. See, a lot of times, and I see it happening a lot. People get discouraged because they pray and they ask God for this, but then it may not happen when they thinking it should, and they get discouraged about it. But see, don't ever get discouraged about it, because it's coming. It's coming. You know, but you just got to work for it. You just got to be willing to wait for it. I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop right there, because I want feedback for this. I want to know that I'm talking to somebody out there. I want to know that you're listening to me. So I'm gonna stop right there. I could go further, but I don't want to at this moment. You know. So send me your feedback. You know, comment me, email me, do one of those little web replies, or whatever, video replies. You know what I'm trying to say. And let me know what your feedback is about this, what you think about this. If you have a topic that you may want to talk about. I love to talk to people. I love to interact with people. I love to discuss things. I'm a negotiator. Hmm. Just send me what you want to talk about, and we will talk about it. Okay. Until we speak again. Until I see you again. Deuces. I'm praying for you, and you pray for me. Okay.